Hey everybody, Chris Americos here, and this video is titled, How to Make People Think You Are Poor. Another good name for this video would be, Why You Shouldn't Tell People That You Don't Have Time. This is something I hear from so many people around the world in different situations. And I do believe that some people think that they don't have time, or some people really have a lot of things to do in their life. And I don't want to say that I have more or less time than they do, because really every person in the world has the same 24 hours every day. Some people have more years and more days, but in the end, we all have about the same amount of time every day. And when a person says that they don't have time for something, for someone, they don't have time to do something, really what it tells us is that that person is very, very poor. And I'm going to explain why I think that in this video. The first and most important thing for us to understand about this topic is that time is the most valuable resource. And I think that you would agree with that statement. We can always earn more money. We can always dig for more gold or oil. We can always make more things, and we can always hire more people. So all of those resources, we're able to find more of them, but there's really no way for us to dig and find time, or hire people to give us more time, or work more or earn more in order to give us more time. Now, we need to differentiate between free time and just time in general. Usually when someone tells us that they don't have time, they mean they don't have free time. And we can make that differentiation. But if we start from the point that time is the most valuable resource in the world, and that everyone has the same 24 hours, then it makes sense that if you don't have time, you're poor. If you tell someone, I don't have the most important resource that there is, then you're telling people that you're poor. I mean, most people think of the word poor related to money. And so when someone says poor, they think, oh, this person doesn't have a lot of money, right? But there can be different types of poor. We can say that somebody is emotionally poor, right? They can't control their emotions, or maybe they can't feel things. We can say that someone's financially poor, that they can't afford things. But really, the poorest type of poor is not having time. And not having time and telling other people that you don't have time just shows how poor you really are. So the next time you tell someone, or you start to tell someone that you don't have time for something, for someone, or time to do something, just think about that. Think about what you're really saying to them. The first thing that you're saying to them is that you don't have the most important resource in the world, and that means that you are very poor. But there are a lot of other things that you're also communicating when you say this, and it's really, really not a good idea for you to tell people that you don't have time and to show people that you don't have time. One of the consequences of telling people that you don't have time is that people will think that you are irresponsible. And it's kind of counterintuitive, because the person who tells us that they don't have time usually thinks that they are being responsible. They think that they are focusing on the things that are important to them, and that means that they don't have time for other things, right? They think that they're using their time responsibly by saying no to some things. And that's a good idea. We should focus on the things that are important. But when we tell a person, sorry, I can't do this because I don't have time, we're telling them, first of all, that we're very poor, and second of all, we're telling them that we're irresponsible. Because first and foremost, we should be able to control our own usage of time. Our experience of time and how we use our time is how we use our life. So if we are not in control of our life, if we're not in control of the hours, minutes, and seconds of our life, then we are very irresponsible. because we're letting outside factors control our life. And when we tell the person that we don't have time, they will think, oh, this person hasn't learned how to control time. This person hasn't learned how to use time properly. This person is not in control of his or her life. And this is not what you want to tell people. You don't want to go around telling people that you are irresponsible and you don't have control over your life. People will stop inviting you to things. People will stop including you in things because they know that when they invite you and they include you, because you don't have time, some outside factor can always influence you, can always change your decisions, and can always make you not do the thing that you said you were going to do. And this is a very irresponsible position to be in. The next reason that you shouldn't tell people that you don't have time is because it's better to appear generous than to appear greedy. And when you tell people that you don't have time, even if this is because you have something really important to do, really what you're communicating to them is that you don't want to share your time with that person. And this is a very greedy position because, as we've already stated, time is the most valuable resource. And if you take the position that you don't have enough time for this person, then it means that you are not willing to share. You're not willing to share the most important thing in the world. And that will make the person who you say that you don't have time for feel very bad. They'll feel that you're just not a generous person and you don't share, you don't give. So they might actually think that they have to defend themselves against you because you're greedy and you're trying to take things. Because let's break it down. If you're so greedy that you can't share your time with people, especially people who are close to you or people who you know, then what that means is that you're only going to use your time to gain something. And that person will quickly understand and take the position that if they have something valuable enough for you, that you will spend your time with them. But if you don't have something valuable for them, then you will not spend your time with them. And this will, again, make them feel that you're very greedy, that you're always trying to take things from them instead of sharing and giving and being very open and flexible with how you spend your time. And this brings us back to the first point, that it makes people feel that you're irresponsible. Because if you don't have control over your time, and you have to use every second of your time to get something out of it, then people will not be able to rely on you. And that brings us to the third point, is that when you tell people that you don't have time, really you're telling them that you're unreliable. You're telling them that they can't rely on you and they can't trust you. Because if you can always get out of things by saying, well, I don't have time, then what this tells people is that you don't understand that this is an internal decision that you have made. You don't understand that this was your choice. Now, of course, people have to work for a living, and sometimes it's really hard to have a balance between family and work and friends and other activities, and then find time for yourself. But in the end, how you spend your time is your decision and your choice, and it's no one else's. So when you tell people that you don't have time, it means that you believe that this is not your choice, that this is not under your control, and that something else influences it and something else is in control of this decision. That there's external factors controlling your life and not internal ones. They're going to think, wow, this person believes that they are not in control, and this means that I can't trust them because the person will always come back to external factors that take control of their life and make decisions for them. So the person will never take responsibility for their own actions because time is an external factor, and time can always overrule whatever individual personal decisions that person might want to make. So even if the person has good intentions, because they believe that they are not in control of time, time can always change what they do. Even if they promise to do something, time might come in and change that. And now the person can say, well, I don't have time. So I hope this little explanation of why you should never tell people that you don't have time was useful and insightful, and I hope that it made you think a little bit differently about using this phrase. After all, time is the most valuable resource in the world. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you press like, press subscribe, and leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.